Hi, I'm Jenny Robertson, founder of the On Purpose Woman Global Community and founder and publisher of On Purpose Woman magazine. Welcome to Connections Over Coffee. Whether you're here with us live on Zoom, joining us on Facebook, or watching later on YouTube, I'm so glad you're here. This is your time to slow down, fill up, and connect with other heart-centered women who are making a difference in the world. I'm blessed to have one of those women with me today, Beth Knaus, who's going to speak on confident communication, why using your voice matters, and how to use it. Beth is an award-winning copywriter and communication consultant, and the owner of That's a Spade Copywriting Services. She works with female entrepreneurs to recognize their voice and then use it in their written communications to attract their bullseye clients. You can find out more about Beth at that'saspade.com, and that website is also in the text of this video. Beth, welcome. Thanks for being with us today.
Thank you so much. I love to come speak here, and what happens for me is, in full disclosure, I had a bunch of notes of things I wanted to talk about today, and this is one of the ways that I like to use ChatGPT because people ask me about AI all the time. And I had all these rambling notes, and I put it in ChatGPT. I said, this is the type of group I'm talking to. This is what I want to talk about. Can I have some exercises, quick activities, quick questions? And it printed out this really wonderful little outline for me, except then I go into the breakout rooms and I listen to all these people and I make all these notes. So hopefully we're going to get through it. I think this is a really interesting time for us right now as women, particularly women 50 plus or even just a little bit younger than that, to be using our voices. Even just in the beginning, when everybody said, there was a time when women couldn't speak or partake at the Rotary, at Toastmasters, at the Chamber. If we think about what's going on with the Epstein files, and I'll say nothing else, about women being quieted. And I just saw yesterday that up in Salem, there's a group, a nonprofit group, creating a film about the last witch, which was the last woman who was on trial for the Salem witch trials. So all of a sudden, we have these opportunities, even though it's kind of a scary time for us, but so important for us to use our voice and to step out. So that's the first thing. The second thing is there's a lot of people out there in the online marketplace. So we need to speak in a way that people know what's so great about us, what makes you a special snowflake, right? And it's not what everyone in the industry is saying. It's not, oh, here's my resume. It's not, those things are not validating our genuine existence and our unique ability to serve clients the way we do, compared to other people. But it also means that we have to open up. So, like in our room, we were talking about people need to let go of their inhibitions. People need to dig deeper. And that includes us, right? We heard Catherine say earlier about service. You can offer service and make money, right? That's another place we get stuck. But the way to show that service is to use your voice. And I thought about the times when we all first start our business, right? When we meet somebody who's just starting their business, it's all they want to talk about, blah, 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 blah. But somewhere along the line, that gets caught up in the concept of marketing, and suddenly we have nothing to say, right? Because we get caught up in that. So, I was thinking about, why does marketing feel so hard for us? Part of it is that we do have to step out in the spotlight. We do have to say, it's great that somebody else is a copywriter, but this is what makes me different. Not better, not more experienced. This is how my process works. And it's okay for me to say that. And it's okay for the other person to say it. And I will tell you personally, I am very good friends with another copywriter, but when we first were on the scene together, I was hugely intimidated by her. I almost didn't want to be in networking groups with her. I mean, it was crazy. And then over time, as I dove deep and figured out who I was as a copywriter, I realized that I was very different than her as a copywriter. And we talk openly about writing now all the time. So, um, I think that that's an important thing also. So I would like to know, just quickly, you can put it in the chat, one topic that you could talk about connected to your business for hours. You can just drop a word, a quick sentence. And sometimes that's hard, right? Because we want to talk about our thing. What is our passion? Let me take a look at that. Okay, so we want to talk about manifesting clients, connection, intuition, expression, fascia health. That's super important for our body. That's for sure. I'm having a massage today. Uh, Transformational stories, water, all these things, right? Speaking to attract clients, but these are all things that we also need to do for our businesses. So, and we want to help other people get there too. But the way to help other people is to speak specifically about those things. And some of these things are similar, but everybody said it in a different way. And so I think that's important to realize what words really represent you. Um, okay, I don't want to get off track. I want to come back to marketing. So I think most of us love situations like this, breakout rooms, one-to-one conversations with people. This is how your communications should be. We're solopreneurs for the most part, and our work with clients is personal and it's one-to-one. So sometimes I see people go out to speak about themselves, and suddenly it's like they're talking to a room of 1,000 people and they have no idea who it is they're connecting with. We're connecting. I want you to visualize yourself over the table. Piece of cake, cup of coffee, glass of wine, cheese, whatever it is, and you're having that personable, valuable, relatable conversation, right? We're not this authority up here saying to them, you need this, even though if you didn't have any consequences, we might do that a little bit. But you are talking to them about, I've been in your shoes, or I've helped someone in your shoes. And so now I have this process to help you get where I am, right? That's really what most of us are doing in our businesses, is helping a previous self or someone who was in that situation that we happen to work through, right? Something inspired us, an experience that we had. So that's really where your natural voice comes out. Um, I would love to know, what is it, again, one word, one thing that you hate about marketing your communications? Is it the scheduling? Is it the graphics? Is it, choosing platforms? Is it consistency? I feel your pain, Jessica. Um, what is it about, even if it's your email or a blog or a podcast or anything like that, what's the struggle for you? So you can drop that in the chat if you want. I know the answers, believe me, because everybody I work with, this is our marketing is the bane of our existence. But yet, if we could have a passionate one-to-one conversation with somebody about our business, it I don't see the two coming together. And I think that's where we have struggles, because your communications that you want to get out there and marketing are the same, and then they aren't. So I feel like if we could have more of those types of communications, the marketing piece can be worked out, right? Ginny talked about Anne. Um, we have these quizzes, right, that some of you have. Um, you can have a VA. You can find someone who does graphics. Somebody does all of this stuff. You can use, yes? Anybody? Robin, did you want to say something? Okay, sorry, I thought somebody wanted to say something. Um, and it's just a matter of deciding. So, what works for you? I want to read some of these comments for a second. Setting what I do apart from the many other networking connections groups, assuming no one will read my emails. So, what should I say? Clear messaging, being concise, brevity is key. People, there's a lot of stuff to read out there, right? We all get a lot of emails and stuff. I actually get off of email lists if the emails are too long, because I want to read the stuff. But if it's too long, uh, to me, that says you have two emails there. You can break that up. So there's a tip for you. If you have too much information, break it up, and then your next email is all set, right? Um, so what should I say? Yeah, graphics and design. Oh, so I want to say something about graphics and design for a second. It is really nice to have Canva. It is really nice to have beautiful branded colors. Your face and your words are also your branding. So if you are getting caught up in that piece of it, step aside and be simple. Get a couple of good pictures. If you can see a photographer for headshots, great. Or social media pics, great. If you have someone, I mean, I have three kids, 30 and under. They all know how to use an iPhone really well, and get a couple of pictures. People want to see who you are, right? They want that human connection, which brings us back to that relatable storytelling piece. Um, so that's a good one. Making effective investments. Yeah, I think that's hard. What I will tell you, although I don't use it so much, I hear so many people talk about YouTube. You can learn anything on YouTube. And what's nice about it is those people, you hear their voice, you hear their philosophy, you know if they're for you or not. And then you can follow them. So if there's something that you don't have in your budget, that's a good way to learn. Go out there and find somebody you like to follow, and learn from them. Yep, videos and lives. See, now here I am. I could talk here for 3 hours, ladies, but I will not. I love the opportunity for video and I love to communicate verbally like this. I know it's not everybody's jam. Uh, but again, it's nice to put your face out there. You have to decide, right? So, like for me, when I come here, I don't make slides. It's too rigid for me. I want to have this freedom to add in some tidbits when I go off on a tangent or I have something passionate, something strikes me. So I like this. Some people like slides, like you might be, Kelly, somebody who's good with slides because then it's not your face, and you can do it ahead of time and then the notes are right there in front of you. Whereas me, I want to, go freewheeling off of my outline all the time. So we listen. I'm going to go off my thing right here, but we listen to people, right? There's so much peer pressure. And so I wrote here in my notes, enough with the peer pressure. Don't stress over Canva or Reels, or can somebody get by without ever creating a reel? Yes, you can. Do not feel pressured. I know somebody spoke here just recently, right, about TikTok. TikTok is so much fun. I haven't done it yet. I really have the itch, but I can see why it's not for everyone. I have a daughter with a business who's on TikTok all the time, and it's just fabulous. And it can be intimidating, right? But you can just go on and talk for a minute, and you don't have to have all the bells and whistles. You don't have to. So I think we need to look at things and see how do they work for us. I am on LinkedIn, I'm on Instagram. I have a Facebook business page, to be honest. I'm not into it. I mean, I post in there. Let me say my VA posts in there, but it's not my jam. I do like Instagram. I will engage there. I do like LinkedIn. I will engage there. Find the places you like to engage, not just where you like to post, but where you like to engage, where you can go in and have conversations with people, right? And that's another good way to be able to communicate in that conversational way in answering and engaging with people. That's almost as important as actually posting yourself, to be honest. Let's see, what else? Maybe if you don't like to write email newsletters, like I've been chunking mine out lately. I didn't do consistent emails for a long time because I felt like it had to be a certain way and I'm a writer and when people get it, it has to be. And now I'm like, what's off the top of my head? Like I have a newsletter I'll send out this week. I will probably talk about some of the experience that I've had here in this group. It's great material for me. And I will share that. Then I also get to share the group, right? And support Ginny and everybody in it. Maybe you like to write blogs. Maybe you like to be a guest on podcasts where somebody else is interviewing you and kind of prodding the conversation, right? That's a little bit different. And some podcasts are just audio, they're not visual. So that's also nice. What else? What else? Speaking and networking. I network a lot. I love to network and I love one-to-one calls. I feel like I can have that one-to-one conversation with people. I don't have to get on where there's 100 people in a room if that doesn't work for me. So really sit down with yourself and say, what works? What works for me? Not what's everybody else down the street doing. What makes me feel good about communicating, right? You don't have to do all the things, right? We hear a lot of people say, you have to do all the things. You have to do it 6 times a day. You have to do engagement. You have to do video. You have to do stories. You have to do real. You have to do what works for you. And if those things don't work, then don't do them. But if you want to try them, give it a shot, you know? Um, all right, I don't want to spend too much time on that, not on that stuff. So another thing I run into is people who are like, ugh, storytelling. Like, what the heck is that? You know what it is? It's a term, is what it is. So if you don't like the term, find a different term for it. It's really about being able to share your individual personal experience, perspective, philosophy with people. And the best way to do that is to give examples of personal experiences. And you may or may not have heard me talk about this here before, but there's marketing and then there's memoir. When you're talking about personal things as if you're in the moment, you want people in a memoir to feel your pain with you, right? Whereas if you're writing marketing, if you're writing storytelling for the purpose of marketing, you want to say, I had this general struggle. These are some things I've tried. This is what I found worked, and this is the outcome, right? It's not about cutting open a vein and making people, feel bad or stress about it. You want to, yeah, it's about making the connection. You're right, Mary. So there are different levels of, the intensity of your story. But sometimes if we share a flaw, right, or a mistake or something that happened, it's so relatable because it shows that we're human. And that's really what we want. I mean, we talk to each other in these kind of groups, and we want to know about value, right, which is a whole nother story. Right now, your individual value counts so much in this roller coaster economy that we're existing in right now. And some of us are affected and some of us aren't, but that's the same for our clients. And they have to be discerning in how they pick. And you have to aid that discernment by talking about your value as a human being in the process. Um, Social proof, right? It shows that we're trustworthy. If you can get video testimonials from clients, that's fantastic. If you can give some to people, that's fantastic too, right? Um, Human connection. One of the things that drives me crazy is I go to a website and I have to do that little CAPTCHA thing, right? They want to use technology, but they also want to know, are you human? And I'm just going to say, well, I won't say quickly. I'm going to say two more things. I have a few minutes, right, Ginny? Okay. I want to talk for a second about this tech piece. I think you probably all see it out there. People are coming back to community. They are coming back to groups. They are coming back to in person because we're being driven, right, by this subconscious want of balance with this increase of technology and advancement. And that technology and that advancement, a high percentage of it is really great, but it's also a disconnect from human connection. And at the end of the day, whether we like it or not, we are humans and we want to connect with humans, and your clients want to connect with humans. So the more human you can show up, the better your business is going to be, right? People don't want to, I talked to somebody yesterday, sign up for do-it-yourself courses as much anymore. They want to sign up for things that, yeah, there's some do-it-yourself, but they also want to connect with a human. They want to trust that the person generating this is real, has their best interest at heart, right? Think of all the scamming and the texting and all the things that we're all getting, emails and hacking and stories that you hear. That stays in the back of our minds, that subconscious, who said it? Trust recession. Amy Porterfield said we are in a trust recession. And we kind of are. So if you can show your value, if you can show your trust by showing up and telling a story about your human experience, this is what people want now. They definitely do. So how do you show up as you? Well, I'll tell you what you don't do. You don't show up like with your industry as this defensive wall in front of you. It's nice to say, I'm in this industry, but it's also nice to get more specific. And one of the things I see women do when they don't dive deep enough intuitively and find out who they think they are and what their power is, their gift, how they do their thing. That's magnificent. I mean, Catherine said earlier, most of these days, we are all pretty brilliant. We are all pretty flippin' brilliant, ladies. So go in there and dig out the brilliance that you can share with people, right? And share in your story of how you see things. We are all observers. And so we all observe things and then adjust to that in the way that we help our clients. That's magic. Not everybody can do it. We think everybody can because we surround ourselves with people who can, but there are a lot of people who can't. Um, so that's part of who you are. Um, and I also think that we see ourselves through the lens of those we help. So many times we say we are the person that other people have said that we are, right? Nurturers, helpers, and not that those things are bad, but we're also individual humans who are doing things for ourselves too, right? You can have service and make money. You can also have your why. Not I help people, not I show people, but I'm a writer. I want people to hear what I have to say. I think what I have to say is important. So if I can help you by writing words for you that show that you're important, great. But at the end of the day, I want to look at something and say, I wrote that website and it's converting. Like, I want that credit too. And we all deserve to have that credit and to figure out what that is that we want out of showing up as ourselves. Um, okay, so let me see. Do I have closing thoughts? Ah, I wanted to share one other thing that I wrote that was a note I made to myself. My husband drinks a lot of iced tea, and he drinks Arizona iced tea. And when I go into the grocery store, I literally sometimes have to stand there. He likes two kinds. There are 12 kinds of Arizona iced tea. And it takes me a minute to really focus in and find the two I want, right? Clients aren't going to spend that time. You need to really make sure that your label on your bottle of iced tea is crystal clear and catching the attention of the people that you want to work with. Um, all right. Well, I think I went down my list. I want to make sure that we have some time for a question or two. So I'm going to stop talking. Okay.
Beth. Oh, whoops. I didn't mean to take you out of the spotlight,
That's
Beth. Let me
okay.
put you back in. While we wrap up here, I'd love for everyone here with us on Zoom to unmute yourselves and let's let Beth see and hear our appreciation. This was so good, Beth. Thank you. Come
Thank
on,
you.
unmute
Thank
and
you,
clap, y'all.
everybody. Thank you. I appreciate.
Okay.
Thank you,
Yes.
Beth.
Thank
Yes,
you.
thank you, Beth.
One of the many things I appreciate about what you said is that you reminded we women that we do have these voices, that it's imperative. I think we have a responsibility to use them because so many who came before us couldn't without some severe consequences. And so we can use them. And thank you for just that reminder of how easy it is to play small if we're not paying attention, how easy it is to kind of back into, you just made so many great points. I have to watch this video again. So thank you so much. I really appreciate you showing
My
up here
pleasure.
for us. And I want to thank all of you who joined us live or are catching the replay. Thank you for being part of this amazing community. If you'd like to get more involved in what we do here, join us for a future connections gathering. You can go to my website, opwgc.com, click on our gatherings, and you'll see all the different things we have going on Zoom, as well as live in Columbia, Maryland, and Tallahassee, Florida. Also, check out On Purpose Woman magazine on my website. There you'll find inspiration, connection, and opportunities to grow you both personally and professionally, all while staying true to who you really are. Until next time, I remind you to stay inspired, stay authentic, stay connected, and stay grounded in your purpose. Thanks for watching.